Data science develops as a revolutionary force in a dynamic terrain of modern business, transforming how organizations navigate decisions. As the amount of data on the internet rises tremendously, so will the contribution to data science and hence the data science employment future. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving technology space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Artificial intelligence has emerged as a revolutionary force, transcending traditional boundaries and reshaping industries across the globe. Now, the global adoption of technology in the education sector is vastly changing the way we teach and learn. But the question that arises now is, can AI and education work together? So today with us, we have Dr. Debashis Guha, Associate Professor and Director, Master of Artificial Intelligence in Business at Jain School of Global Management. Hello, Dr. Debashis. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Great. It's a pleasure to have you with us on our podcast. So let's start by telling our listeners. I think most of the Indian audience must be familiar with SPGN School of Global Management. But if you could still highlight what is this college is about, the school about, and its specialization.
SP Jain School of Global Management is a leading Asian business school. Our principal campus is in Sydney, Australia. We also have campuses in Singapore, in Dubai, and in Mumbai, India. We offer Master of Business Management program, MBA programs, two MBA programs, a doctorate program, a bachelor's program in business management. In addition to that, starting a few, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we started a series of data science and artificial intelligence programs. We offer a Bachelor of Data Science program, and we also offer a program that I run, and that is the Master of Artificial Intelligence in Business program, which is kind of a combination of a technically rigorous AI program with a management program with a focus on the applications of artificial intelligence in business.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing about SPGN. I think it is pioneering one of the ways of how we can leverage technology by imparting important courses around artificial intelligence and data science. So I think in the intro when I spoke about data science, so I think it is currently a fantastic career that offers high pay and there are a lot of opportunities across multiple industries, and also it offers long-term employment stability. So the next question that I have, if you could, tell us more about yourself, your role at SPGen School of Global Management, and your contribution towards the organization, it would be great.
Thank you. My name is Debashis Guha. I am an associate professor and I run the Master of Artificial Intelligence in Business program, which is a 2-year master's level program. I designed this program, the curriculum in this program, and got it approved. And I have been its director ever since we started in 2021. I also had the research center at SP Jain Global, which is called Center for Research on Technology in Business. The goal of that research center is to bring in both SP Jain researchers and other academics and professionals and carry out research in the area of the applications of technology in various business sectors. I have been at SP Jain for 6.5 years. Before that, I used to live in the US and I worked think tanks in New York City, in investment firm in Los Angeles, California. And I got my, degree in engineering from IIT Kharagpur in India. And then, I got my PhD from Columbia University in New York City.
Great. Your journey seems quite impressive, Dr. Debashis, and thank you for sharing with us. Moving ahead, we were talking about AI in education. Now, let's imagine a classroom where every student receives individual attention and a teacher adapts the teaching pace based on how quickly or slowly the student grasps the material. Now, this is the education of the future powered by artificial intelligence and not so many science fiction. And we all know that the traditional classroom methods have been a one size fits all approach and nothing more of a personalized teaching experience. And I think with artificial intelligence, we can now kind of be able to do that. So I want to understand from you, what are your views on the integration of AI in the education sector, and how do you think that it can be a game changer altogether?
Most people do feel that education is one of the sectors that's going to be most heavily impacted by the advent of artificial intelligence, especially the generative AI revolution that we have seen since 2023 and the release of ChatGPT and further developments on those lines. A recent publication listed 20 professions that are going to be most affected, and possibly some of its roles will be taken over by artificial intelligence. And teaching from grade elementary and grade school levels all the way to college and higher levels, where those teacher roles were uh, high on that list. So if you look at the development and the evolution of teaching through a very long lens, you find that all teaching, whether it's in the East or in the West, was on a personal basis. In India, we had the Gurukul system where students used to stay with teachers and receive personal instruction. The same system used to work in China, in Japan, and in fact, even in the West. Until recently, the Oxford and Cambridge had personal tutor systems, and I believe they still do that. The advent of classroom teaching is relatively new, and it has now, of course, spread all over the world, and that's the primary mode of teaching. But it is inefficient because you have students at multiple levels of understanding and development, and some are quick to grasp things, some are not so quick, and you need to teach at a sort of mean level or median level, so to say, and that doesn't work sometimes very well. What we have now is a possibility of, like you said, individualized teaching. It was, to some extent, it was always there, but it was self-driven. However, now what we have, advent of generative AI systems, which can interact with every student separately and fine tune the delivery of instruction through an interactive process to the pace and the level that student needs. So, for instance, there may not be any reason to have grades in schools because some students proceed quickly and may be ready to study advanced subjects by the time they're 12 or 13. Some students may be a little bit slower and may need more time. Some students may need more coaching in one subject. They may be, very good in maths, but maybe not that good in English or the other way around. And all of this can be catered for by the advent of modern artificial intelligence systems. And there is no doubt that this is coming. Some of it is already there. And all these, Khan Academy in the US already has initial systems that work on these principles. And this is going to happen, my guess is, in the next 1 or 2 years. And we are going to have, teachers are not going to go away so quickly. We are still going to be around. But a lot of the work that teachers do, and this is true of all AI based systems, that AI is probably not going to replace human experts, but human experts are going to, and in this case, I mean the human teachers, are going to be much more productive and much more effective with the advent and the assistance of these AI systems.
Right, definitely, and I think you pretty much highlighted that, especially in schools outside India in the West, the culture was more about having AI technologies more pervaded in the educational environments at every step, like from giving personalized learning platforms to automating the grading process, with just one goal in mind, that they want to improve the education experiences that they deliver to students. And you also mentioned about generative AI, and yes, that's the next thing, and that's the elephant in the room that everybody is talking about. And generative AI has already revealed its potential to transform a wide variety of industries. And education industry happens to be one of the prominent names among all the industries. Now, the latest trends indicate that AI, and specifically generative AI and gamification in education, have the potential to deliver more vast changes. And on the other side, we also know that generative AI have been accredited with the capabilities of augmenting more creativity among people. So, of course, in education sector, we can expect that it can encourage students to explore the more creative side by allowing them to create original content. And such content can be included not just in terms of content, but it can be music, art, or stories for that matter. Can you tell us some of the best generative AI tools that can be used in the education sectors, both by the teachers and the students?
There are multiple tools available now. One of the most interesting ones are the educational modules that have been released by Khan Academy, which has always been at the forefront of revolutions, if you will, in education. That is going to, and Khan Academy has partnered with OpenAI, and they are working on more and more advanced material. I mean, they started with grade school and high school, but they have a lot of undergraduate level material now, and they will have graduate school level material very soon. So that is something that we need to keep an eye on. Everybody is keeping an eye on that. The general advent of various generative AI capabilities itself is a huge, game changer for the education system. Ever since ChatGPT came out in 2023, or I guess it was late 2022, there has been, the education sector has been in turmoil because there's many of the tools that we use for instruction and assessment, such as essay writing, quizzes, and so on, are prone to be gamed, if you will, by students using GPT-like systems. So if you give them an essay to write, they can go to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can write short essays quite well. And now, GPT-4o is available, which is, what can write very well. Anthropic system can write very well. So just the basic GPT systems themselves, not specialized tools, but the generalized tools, Anthropic's Claude system, GPT-4o, and the advanced Gemini from Google, the three main high-level generative AI tools that are available to the public, are themselves very capable of taking over and imparting instructions to self-learners. They are also useful for teachers to create lesson plans. So you don't need in specialized tools. There are many specialized tools available now. These are called GPTs, GPT Playground that OpenAI has set up, and there are, for research, there are multiple tools. More advanced students for the doctoral level or for the young researchers, multiple tools are available now to do research. And very recently, for instance, several other tools have come out that probably will find use in education. This is the video generation tool. The video generation tool now is capable of creating short videos based on text. This, many people have speculated, is going to lead to the possibility of video creation by amateurs, if you will, by teachers and other professionals who can then now create instructional videos. And it has been demonstrated over and over again that videos do a very good job of teaching people important skills. So that is going to be another tool that's going to be very heavily used in the coming days. There are also tools in development that are more elaborate, if you will. And these are what is called LLM agents. These agents are tools that can carry out a complex series of tasks, not just answer questions, but look up answers to questions, maybe run an experiment and things like that. And these are in development now and not really available to use by the public, but these are going to be a big game changer for every industry, including the education sector.
Yes, and when we're talking about generative AI, it's very difficult not to mention about the LLM agents because they have been playing a very vital role in terms of enhancing the capabilities of generative AI. and also likewise, like you mentioned, about different applications and tools that can be used in terms of enhancing the experience as to how we are delivering education to students, and also how teachers are in a position to leverage the power of these tools and make sure that they are imparting right education at the right time and students are able to grasp them. And when we're talking about education sector, I think on the other side of it, I think businesses are also looking to recruit professionals who are capable of integrating AI into their business strategy and driving business growth. So most of the postgraduates, or if we consider MBA students, they want to stay on top of the latest technological developments, along with other skill sets like communication, critical thinking, or leadership. So it gives them an added advantage in the corporate landscape. So, but on the other hand, there is also concern of potential job displacement as certain tasks become automated with the introduction of artificial intelligence. And I think that's been there, the bubble of job displacement has been there since the advent of AI. So, I want to understand, why do you think artificial intelligence is important in an MBA program? What is the benefit that it offers to students? And by any way, can we address this concern of job displacement?
MBAs are going to have to learn Gen AI tools, both the basic tools and maybe even some of the more advanced tools, because business is adopting these tools at a very rapid rate. Ethan Mollick, who is a leading proponent of AI in business schools, is a professor at Wharton, has written about it extensively, and his research has shown that AI is being adopted in the workplace very rapidly. And MBA grads who are going to be in these workplaces are going to find that if they are not proficient in the use of these tools, they're simply not going to be, they're probably not even going to be recruited. And certainly, if they're recruited, they're not going to be able to perform at the level that the businesses want them to perform. We have certainly taken note of that. In addition to every business school in the world, including all the major ones like Harvard and MIT and so on, are rushing to incorporate these tools, Gen AI and related tools, in their MBA curricula. We have designed workshops and special sessions, and we are incorporating generative tools into our regular teaching schedule. And we are certainly trying to make sure that our MBA graduates are fully proficient in the use of these tools, because they're going to need them. Just like you cannot work without the use of, say, Microsoft Office suites. Everybody has to know Word and PowerPoint and Excel, and similarly, everybody has to be able to use Gen AI tools in the workplace. I wouldn't say even of the future, but of the present, because this is already happening.
Right, I think yes, it definitely makes sense. And with the advent of AI, and while organizations are remodeling their business strategies to incorporate artificial intelligence and other related technologies in their everyday functions, likewise, many B schools have also restructured their curriculum, and they're focusing on how they can integrate artificial intelligence as a core subject and provide them the skills that is necessary to survive them in today's dynamic job market. But one quick follow-up question for you. How does SP Jain ensures up-to-date knowledge enhancement and plan a curriculum related to AI? I mean, what makes SP Jain different from other colleges?
Well, one way we are different is that we were, early entrants to this. Many years ago, I forget the exact year, but I think in 2016, our management decided that digital transformation, data science, artificial intelligence are going to be very important in the business workplace. And both our MBA students and our uh, technology and business students are going to be need to be trained in these technologies. MBAs are going to be trained in the use of these technologies, and AI students are going to be trained in the development of these technologies. But in either case, this is going to be necessary, and we have taken these steps quickly. We formed a committee to look into generative AI as soon as it became clear in 2022 that this was going to be a transformative technology, and we have already introduced workshops and curriculum changes into both our management programs and our technology programs.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Debashis. It definitely makes sense as to how we can upgrade ourselves and ensure that we are adapting with the changing times of technological innovation. On the other side, conversely, if we talk about, I think education institutions also have to acknowledge and address some potential pitfalls or risks associated with artificial intelligence in the education sector. Now, for example, students could rely too much on AI tools rather than exploring genuine learning, which we had way back in our traditional school methods. Now, they may use AI tools like ChatGPT to write assignments and probably cheat sometimes. So, how do you intend to, address these challenges and overcome, or any other such risks that you think that might hinder the learning progress?
This is a huge point of controversy in the education sector, and there has been number of discussions, conferences even on the question of AI and the other AI, which is academic integrity. Academic integrity is, of course, one of our principal concerns, and ever since generative AI uh, arrived in a big way, this has been an issue of how we need to change our methods, both of instruction and especially of assessment, in view of the fact that many of the tools that we use for that are now, in a sense, obsolete. So we do have a special committee that goes into this. We are governed by the Australian accreditation board, and they have their own bodies that are looking into it. uh, Essentially what needs to happen, and I think many people have uh, looked into this, and they have essentially come into this to the same conclusion that certain methods of assessment are simply not viable in this post-Gen AI age. For instance, an assignment of writing an essay at home is simply not something that you can do. The tools have been designed and to detect AI use and so on, but these tools are not very reliable, and AI is constantly getting better and defeating these tools. So what has got to happen is something that is in line with the other major change, the revolutionary change, if you will, that we talked about at the beginning of this session, which is there has to be a personalized attention paid to each student. You can't have one size fits all type of instruction and assessment. So if I know a student personally, and I have interacted with them on a regular basis, then I don't need to rely on impersonal methods like essays. And if I do, I know very well whether he's or she is capable of writing that essay, or whether they're using AI methods of creating essays and things like that. So essentially, what is going to happen is that this whole revolution, whereby personal attention is paid to each student by teachers using a very strong expert AI tool, is going to be completely taking over the methods that we have used so far for the last maybe 50 to 100 years. And the education methods that are going to prevail are going to be very different from classroom lectures and assignments handed out and handed in by students. And these impersonal methods are going to be replaced by personal interaction, close personal interaction over lengths of time. And this is only going to be possible. And the reason why we don't use it is that we have 30 or maybe even 60 students in a class, and it is simply not possible for an instructor to pay close attention to everyone. But if AI takes over a lot of this task, then the instructor will be able to do so, and that is going to change the entire landscape.
So I think it is safe to assume that the AI mania is here to stay. And as businesses, schools are rapidly responding to the transformation by including artificial intelligence in their curriculum. They also need to adopt a systematic approach, like you said, where they could probably give more personalized attention to each student and make sure they're also using artificial intelligence and keeping the human loop intact while leveraging the capabilities of artificial intelligence. And on the other side, I think candidates also need to understand that MBA in artificial intelligence can help them learn new skills, but it's also a wise choice to make the right to choose the right B school because that can give them a competitive edge in the market and step into the industry ready to lead the future. Well, one last question for you would be what are your views on the future trends of AI and the education sector? If you think that probably there are certain trends that might take place by using artificial intelligence in the edtech sector.
This really is an impossible task at this point because the pace of development in AI has become so rapid that it is difficult to see even 6 months ahead, let alone, any further. And changes are coming too fast, and major changes are happening, every 3 months, 6 months. We can see one thing is that AI is going to be, and many people have said this, that AI is the new electricity, but it's going to be more than just electricity. Electricity is only, provides us power. It doesn't provide us intelligence, and intelligence is an essential part of everything that we do. And what is going to happen is that, like we went over already, there is going to be much more personalized instruction, personalized assessment, and AI is going to be very closely involved in all of this. It will not mean that there will not be any human teachers. There will be human instructors. Maybe the number will decline because one instructor probably can handle more students than even now, even in a lecture room setting. The other thing that is going to happen is on the AI front itself. How quickly are we going to get to AGI? That's a question that's being asked now. Elon Musk's answer is 2 years. That may be a bit too optimistic, but we know that Microsoft, for instance, is spending more than $100 billion. Sam Altman wants to raise several $1 trillion to invest in this. So it seems that some sort of system that is substantially more advanced than what we have seen so far is not very, could be 2 or 3 years away. That's what we see 2 years down the road, saying 2026 or 2027. Then I guess all bets are off because we don't really know what that will look like, whether that is going to, obviously this is going to change everything, not just education, but especially education, because that would mean that the role of schools and universities will be fundamentally altered and perhaps even eliminated in certain cases. So, a distributed system of education where you can learn skills and learn topics in a picking from a menu is something that could happen. And this is something that probably is down the road in the longer term.
I agree to it. I think the future of education lies in the synergy between human teachers and artificial intelligence, with the technology serving as a valuable tool to augment teaching and learning practices in higher education. Likewise, teachers need to develop AI literacy and understand how to integrate AI effectively without upholding ethical standards and addressing some practical concerns like we have already discussed in a podcast. So I think by adopting AI responsibly and taking cooperative approach, we can uncover the real possibilities of AI in education, thus making it possible for every learner to succeed and reach their full potential. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Devashish. It was a pleasure talking to you about the role of artificial intelligence in education, and we expect that the education system in India likewise grows, and we have more better learners out there who can help businesses across different industries grow with the use of AI.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for our upcoming podcast, and you can view and listen to all our previous podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.